All right, y'all, back in the eBay cave. We're going to do another highway sale review. This one is going to be one I've been to many times here in the state of Virginia. I don't know, it's a little backwards. I can't quite tell where I'm at, but about here maybe, down to here. About 100-mile stretch. It's probably a little less, well, definitely is a little less than 100 miles. And I'm going to give you a review, an honest review of this sale. It is the one closest to me. Depending on which way I go, it's definitely less than half an hour for me to get to either of the locations that I start at or end at. I'm going to give you a review as honest as I can do, and I hope you enjoy. All right, obviously this is going to be posted on, this is going to be in the Garage Sale Nation YouTube channel, but we're going to take the link, we're going to put it over in Garage Sale Nation, and then maybe every year, except for this one is actually twice a year, so maybe a few weeks out, I'm going to post this link in Garage Sale Nation. You can check it out, and if you're going to head there, it might help you out a little bit. So the 100-mile yard sale, let me see if I can get the real name here. The 100-mile yard sale, Route 29, Virginia. That's the Facebook page. Can you all see that right there? Looks like that. Got a little bit of a glare here, so sorry. Brenda Joe's the one in charge of it, and I've bought from her before. I've been going to this sale for years and years. It continually gets better, that I will say, and weather seems to have really held it back. Not this last year, although there was one bad day of weather, but in 2 years previous. And I think if that wouldn't have happened, it would have continued to grow and been really, really good. It is getting better. There were years in the past where it was very disappointing to me, very scattered. It still is scattered, and we're going to kind of go over that a little bit. But generally speaking, just to give you an idea, it's on Route 29, and it goes from at the very far northern part of Amherst, Virginia, all the way down to Danville, Virginia. But to be honest, there's quite a few different places where there are gaps. And so that's what I'm going to go through today. I'm going to talk about those gaps, talk about some of the hotter spots, talk about the days and what you might find on certain days and how it's getting a little bit better. Now, before I do that, really quick, I just want to point out that this one does have this Facebook page, and it's pretty active. So during the sale, there is a map on there. So if I can move over here, and we can put this map over here, and it's an interactive map. And I think, Brenda Joe here, I think how it works is people that are having individual sales or they want to post where they're at, I think they pay just a few bucks and they'll get posted on that map. And that is a big benefit that is very useful, especially when things are popping up, you know, the second day or the third day of the sale. Because, you know, you want to go through this whole yard sale, and you can definitely do it in a day. It might, well, I don't know about all that. You could definitely cover a big chunk of it in a day because there's not a massive amount of sales. It's not like the 127. It's not even like the 301 that I've been to. It definitely is doable, and you could hit almost every sale if you're there for multiple days. Certainly if you're there for 4 days, although I've never ever gone on Sunday. So I usually go Thursday and Friday and Saturday. All right, I'm going to start at the bottom here. We're going to assume that more people are coming up from, say, the Raleigh area upwards. And that reminds me of something in years past, because I have a couple of, a bunch of aunts and uncles that live down there in Raleigh. And they'd be like, oh, we'll come up for the 100-yard sale. And I'm like, you know what? I'll be honest with you. And they thought I was trying to keep them away. Don't come to the sale because it's my neck of the woods. It's my good sale, right? This time of year, and I'm going to mention the dates here in a minute, you have community sales like crazy down there. And I tell you what, just one community sale might actually be as good if it's a big enough community as this sale. I think it's not quite that true anymore. I think it's getting a little bit better. But I can't ever imagine leaving the Raleigh area, to be honest with you, to come up to this at this time of year. Maybe in the middle of the summer, but not this time of year. So the dates, there are two. They're in the fall. And it's this year, it's September 28th to October 2nd, 2022, depending on when you hear this. Well, it is whenever, but you get the point. And then I think it's the first weekend in May, so spring and then fall. And those are the dates each year. And they basically stay there beginning October and beginning of May. And I have been to both, and both are relatively the same. I think the spring one is better, but I don't know that that'll hold true forever. All right, again, assuming you're going to come up from Danville. Now, a lot of folks here, local folks here, start right in the middle, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But from Danville on up, in years past, there was very, very little in Danville, maybe 1 or 2 in Blair's, and then you would go forever without seeing sales. But now, more and more, as this thing continues on, you're starting to see scattered sales throughout Route 29, all the way up through Lynchburg, and even into Madison Heights, and a little bit into Amherst. But I think that if I had to spend just a few hours somewhere, it definitely wouldn't be in the southern end. But Danville, moving up, let me get my list here, to Blair's, there's a few there. In Tight Squeeze, there was a few good ones there as well. And then there's nothing to Chatham for the most part, and then nothing to Gretna. These are big areas of highway, 10, 15 miles at a time, where you're seeing little to nothing at all. And then you're seeing, between Gretna and Altavista, there is one little site, I think it's near Sycamore, and you go to the west off of there, and there's one lot where there's some pretty good sales, but nothing, out of this world crazy good. And then Gretna, you might see a little bit. In Chatham, you don't see much, because Chatham has their own community citywide sale a little earlier, like a month or 2 before that, which would be interesting if Chatham would move that sale and make it a part of this. And there's one other sale we'll talk about in a minute that has the same thing. So you're going up, and then in Altavista you will see some. You'll see some down there by the old Memorial Stadium, I think. And there are a few different antique booth kind of not antique, well, there's one antique booth type of place. And then some of the stores and shops in there. And then there are a few real garage sales. And that's what's interesting about this, is there's a lot of vendors and a lot of garage sales, and it's just kind of mixed in. A lot of times they're in the same place, which makes it, you don't want to see vendor all the time, right? You want to go to some garage sales, and so you will see those, but mostly a mix of those. And then you're going to get to the area where I know from Perky's Restaurant, because I like the steaks there, but I give them a little plug right there. And they got a bunch of license plates in there like I do outside, so it's pretty cool. And that's the, I guess Gladys Road comes in there, and you see that's where Mad Biddy's used to be, and there's quite a few sales there, church sales and things like that. Definitely a good area right there. And then Yellow Branch usually does have some pretty good sales as well as you're coming up. And then you're going to hit Highland Heights, and that's the kind of the central location with the most amount of people, but most of them are vendors. Not all, but a great majority are vendors. And some of them are, people that are buying, locker cleanouts and whatever, and they're kind of coming in from the local areas and selling off there. And you can find some good stuff. I know Tim the Toy Man, if you watch my videos over there on Commonwealth Picker, he sets up there as well. And Rich the Auctioneer sets up there as well. And so we always go there because they tend to open pretty early. And so we can kind of pick that pretty quick and get out. But it's more and more over the years, that's a harder place for me to find stuff. From Highland Heights up to Lynchburg, you're going to find some stuff. And usually I find some pretty good deals there. It's south of the airport and all the way up to 460, where it hits where Liberty University is right there. Used to be a great, right past Highland Heights, used to be a great little field. There was a church there, and then they would have a community sale right there. But they moved the community sale to avoid the highway sale, which is disappointing for people coming into town. But for me, it's okay, because you can't hit it all, right? But you can still find some stuff as you hit into Lynchburg. Now, when you get into Lynchburg, there's just the typical Lynchburg sales. And you basically have to bypass, and you're driving for literally 20 minutes to get up to Madison Heights on 29 bypass. And I guess you could go on 29, but you're not going to see much. And then you are going to find some up there for sure. Some old school kind of vendorish stuff, but some garage sales as well. And then you're going to keep on going all the way up to Amherst. You might find some scattered here and there, but nothing out of this world up there. Although I will say, to me, it's getting a little better. It's in years past, it wasn't even worth making the trip up there, and I think maybe it is now as it grows a little bit. So there's my advice. And I will say this about days. It is interesting. This is one of those sales where you could kind of hit, a big chunk of it, maybe at least from 460 all the way down to Danville and come back up, and then you could do it again the next day and there'd be different sales. And then on Saturday you're going to get some garage sellers as well, and that's what's exciting, because there's more and more of those popping up here and there. So there's my review of the 100 Mile Yard Sale, Route 29 in, I guess it's Central Virginia. So from Amherst, Virginia through Lynchburg all the way down to Danville, Virginia. Check out their map, check out their Facebook group as well. And of course, as always, we will post this on GarageSaleNation.net. Go over to Garage Sale Nation if you're not seeing it there already. Facebook group, sign up, and you'll learn about all of these garage sales, massive highway sales, massive flea markets, all that stuff, citywide sales all across the country. Hope you enjoy.